One of the common things that creators say when they're explaining why cold outreach works is put in the numbers and you will get results. You don't have the money, but you do have the time, so you can just exchange your time to get those numbers in. When all that they're doing is running a personal brand, creating videos, selling a course, selling a coaching, or selling you into their group. And their agency is long shut down. There is a real danger of following the outdated methods, which just make those people that are telling you about them more rich and making you just waste your time and ending up as a failure again and again. If your goal is to actually get the freedoms that digital business is providing you, like having a location freedom, having time freedom to do and work whenever you want, which is usually 24 hours, but it doesn't matter, you're working whenever you want, and to have money freedom where you have enough money not to be worrying about regular day-to-day things, then if you're doing cold outreach, you will get burned down pretty quickly and you will probably just quit the game altogether. And I'm telling you that because that almost happened to me. When I was starting out, I did 4 or actually 5 months of cold outreach. I was looking at free YouTube videos to find the best way to get started with the digital agency, probably as you're doing right now. And the best solution that I found was, if you don't have money, just do the cold outreach. So I did that for 5 months. I tested all the cold outreach approaches that you can think of. I was sending cold DMs during the day, and I actually made 5 accounts where I was trying to make sure that the accounts don't get banned. I had those, some of them were just a personal account, some of them were like an agency accounts, and I had a list of people that I was messaging. That was during the day, but during the night, I bought myself a phone. That was a phone number of US and one for UK. It was a Zoom phone number. And then I was scraping lists of businesses in my niche, which was landscaping at that point, and I would call them whole night. So I had full day of doing the cold outreach, just full day. In addition to that, because I found that maybe Looms are working, sending videos, not actually just Looms. Although I was using Looms, I was also sending just short videos as a personalized messages to Instagram as a first message, right? Like a personalized, hey, like you're doing it like, no, it's not a sales pitch and all those things. And because my accent is, as you can see, it's not from UK, it's not from US, the results were 0. And because I had no experience with the sales calls, when I got to those sales calls, and I had few of them, I had no closing rate. The closing rate was 0 because I had no space to practice my sales skills. So after doing cold outreach for 5 months religiously every day, believing that if you put in the numbers, you will get the results, I finally closed a client. It was a landscaping company, and I closed them for $900 per month. I got them 3 leads in 1 month, which is something that if you're offering lead generation, you have to get them that in 1 day, right? But because I had no space to practice my skills, because I was offering lead generation services, you have to put in the money to get the results back and to know, are you even doing the right thing? I pretty quickly lost that client, and then I was again at 0. After 5 months, closing 1 client, 1 month goes by, again back to 0. And then my friend, who also started an agency with me, said, fuck it, let's just run the ads for ourselves and see what happens. So that's what happened. After 6 months, we decided to try the ads for ourselves, because if we are offering lead generation services, we can't do the cold outreach to get ourselves clients and then offer somebody else, hey, we're gonna offer you, lead generation. Like, why are you not doing it for yourself? So it made sense. In the whole picture, it just made the biggest sense for us. So what happened when I turned on my ads for the first time? Well, the first thing that happened, I actually got the leads. I got 6 leads from actual business owners in the first day. And I remember the first call that I had with a person. It was just an intro call. I was doing 2 calls close. And the first intro call was such a polite, relaxed conversation, because people have reached out to me, and I wasn't the one, putting my hands in front of them, like, hey, and grabbing, hey, can you give me the money and all that stuff when you do with cold outreach. So they reached to me, and then I called them, and it was a completely different mindset. And once I felt that, I never shut off my ads from that point, and I will never do cold calls and cold outreach ever again, because I see with such a small budget I can get so many leads. And what's more important, you have the room to practice your sales skills. Like, if you have 1 sales call per week, there is no room to practice. But if you have 5 sales calls per day, then you have big enough room and just wide enough room to improve all of your skills. And the most important skill is running the sales call where you actually close somebody and you have the money coming into your business. And when you improve your sales skills, you become more secure in your service. You become more authoritative, and just the trust is radiating from you. And this is what somebody wants from you. Like if you're on a call with somebody, they want to hear that you are secure in the thing that you're offering and that you know what you're speaking about. And you can't get that if you don't have enough room to practice. When you're running the ads, you don't chase the leads come to you. And it's a completely different mindset in their heads and in your head also. And the leverage that I was able to use for myself, because I was offering lead generation services, I can say, hey, the way that this works is the same way that you just came to me. Like you sign into an ad, and this is the same thing that I do for you, for your business. And you see it's working because you've signed up. So just putting out that card was like, it closed me so many people, because that was literally a proof. They were a proof that it was working. So they would be like, okay, let's give it a try. And they will be much more okay with giving money up front. When before they probably they usually didn't even want the service. They had enough jobs. They didn't want to pay anything up front because I was just a stranger calling them and they didn't search for me. But the biggest realization that I've seen when I switched from cold outreach, like probably more than 6 hours per day, to switching to paid ads, was I was able to spend €6 or dollars per day to reach from 500 to 1,000 ideal people, ideal leads per day. It's like, it's €6, it's $6. Like, is that even real? Like the numbers in my head were just clicking. Like, what is this? Like, is this real? Facebook and Instagram knows exactly who to target. So all of those views they are getting, those are the people who are qualified, right? So like usually you would spend 12 hours to outreach to 1,000 businesses, but here it's €6. It's like, it's a no-brainer. I spend €6 for coffee every day. Just, if you don't have €6 or dollars, just find a job and, get €6 per day, and that's it. And you will be much, much faster than if you were just to, give up on your job and spend 12 hours per day to do the cold outreach, because those people will not be as qualified, right? So Facebook knows exactly who needs your service. You don't know when you're calling. You just have a list of businesses. Most of them don't need your service, right? Most of them are just successful owners who are not searching for a service right now. So you're wasting time outreaching to them. But when you give €6 to Facebook, hey, there it is. Just Meta, it uses Facebook and Instagram. Find these people. When you make those ads to be perfect, like if you really call out your ideal audience in the right way, Facebook is going to show that to more qualified people, better quality than if you were to go and do it manually. So it's a no-brainer. There is no reason to do cold outreach. It's not even the money. Like, it's €6. That's crazy. There is no excuse of not running the ads for you. And on top of everything, the ads are becoming much cheaper to run. The only thing you have to do is test out a lot of creatives to find what is working for you. Once you find a winning one, it is just, you don't have to make it for another 5 months. So I have some of the ads running for 1 year and I don't touch them. It's zero work for me. They just run on 10 euros. For me, it's 10 to 20 euros per day because I'm scaling. But for you, it can be €6 per day, dollars depending on which currency you're in. And that's it. There is no additional work. They're just running and showing them they are being shown to ideal people. And now in 2025, so many people are doing cold outreach. Business owners have just become immune to all of your personalized messages. Like if they see your messages in like requests, like in DMs, they don't go to requests, right? If you don't follow them, like why would they check your message? They know that it's a pitch. They know like there is no room anymore. And on top of that, Instagram has added that feature of you can just message somebody one time. If you're not a follower, you don't follow each other, that's it. Like you can send a request for the message. So you can't really do any follow-ups. So the platforms know that you're doing cold outreach and they don't want you to do that. They want you to spend money on ads. They're pushing you towards putting cash in their business, right? So all of the ads revenue goes to the platforms and they are going to reward you for using the ads. I can tell you, after running the agency for 3 years, doing cold outreach for that short period of time when I almost burned out, I was doing the ads plus sales calls at the beginning. It was actually 1.5 years of my business. I recently switched to doing no sales calls. So I'm just using the ads and selling in DMs. I basically transform my sales calls and the whole process of doing the calls into the content. So I cover everything from objections, speaking about the problems, desires, qualifying them in DMs. I do all of that just in DMs and using stories and reels. I have a video somewhere here, I don't know where it's going to be shown, about a system that I run, but basically if you can crack the ads to be in the right way, you can either go to the route of doing sales calls or doing the route of just closing in DMs. You basically have all the freedoms to scale the business and to make it something where it gives you all the freedoms and all the money that you need, which is, I think, something that you, if you're just starting out, actually want. You want a system that's working. So if I tell you cold outreach works, it's not working if you want this to be your actual and main source of income. So overall, my honest opinion of cold outreach versus paid ads. Speaking about the cold outreach, it's good to make your skin thicker, because when I was doing cold outreach, I got used to rejections and it was a normal thing. Like, I was expecting no's. I would just expect one yes per day, and that was just for sales call. It wasn't for actual client closed. So it's a good thing to, make yourself comfortable with being rejected. But if you use that route and you think that is going to create you a successful business, that's not the way to go. Any successful business runs the ads. And I think that paid ads are a necessary tool to make a sustainable digital business. And especially coming into 2025 and moving forward, everybody is using them. There is AI automations also happening, and it's a necessary thing. It is too many automations in the air right now that you can't make anything sustainable just with cold outreach. Paid ads, you also have a consistent clients coming in, so you can do the numbers, and you have a control over who sees your content and how many people see your content, right? So you have more control over your business, which in the long run gives you a firm enough base to actually make this your main source of income.